get up, get arrested for this. But when the body is mixed, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 186 of Fired Up Sports. Check us out at firedupsports.com. I'm Mike Gilletto. Joining me as always, Dom Console. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on? A little loud in my headphones. Lower that a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want to blow your eardrums out
Yeah.
already.
I don't know if you know, but
I
I don't know if I've told you this before. I haven't said it on the show. I don't know if I told you before one of these weeks for like the last I don't know, maybe 3 months. Only one of my sides works.
Okay.
My
Yep.
headphones, and I've just forgotten every week to just get a new pair of headphones. Until
So you just kind of
plug in.
battling through the elements here.
Yeah, well, it's what we got to do here.
Hey, fair enough.
Sometimes.
I respect it.
For like 3 months, it's been like maybe even longer. Honestly, it might have been like 6 months.
You could probably just find a pair of headphones just around your house somewhere. I'm sure you got something somewhere.
I don't know if I have any. I think these are my only wire headphones. Honestly, at this point.
Do you have any wireless? Use some wireless.
But I can't plug it into the.
Nah, you could change your settings though. You could change your output to do a.
Into the what do you call it? The
Yeah. I'll tell you off the pod, but yeah, there's a way to do it.
Oh, okay.
You got to go to your computer settings, and then go to your output.
Through the interface?
No, not on the interface.
Oh, well, that's
on the computer. On the
But I
computer.
like to hear myself.
Oh, well then you're shit out of lockdown.
Yeah. I'll just have to go to Five Below and get a cheap pair of headphones.
Yeah. I don't know. I've tried that. The Five Below headphones are so uncomfortable.
Yeah, for the most part.
Hurt your ears and shit.
Yeah.
So before we get into the sports talk, obviously we had big Flyers news happen last week. John Tortorella gets fired. We'll talk about it. The Phillies officially start the season. The Eagles have broken the NFL. We'll talk about it all.
And the Sixers went back to the process era.
Who cares? Who cares about the Sixers right now until they strip it down and build it back up? It's it's going to be a long process. No pun intended. So before we get into all that, we had our greatest TV comedy of all time bracket, and we didn't have a show last week. And kind of got schedules, conflicts got in the way or whatever.
Yep.
But so we weren't able to talk about it last week. So I guess we'll just kind of break it all down here tonight. And can I be honest? This went a lot worse than I thought it did. I hated a lot of matchups. I didn't like it.
You hated the matchups because you didn't want to have to vote for them?
No.
Because you didn't like the way that it...
Yes, the outcomes I didn't like. I didn't like some
Okay.
outcomes.
Well, yeah, but that's true March Madness fashion.
Sure.
Like,
For sure.
I didn't agree with a lot of them either. But
Okay, so we can get into it if you want. I
Yeah.
just go matchup by matchup. But we started with Seinfeld and Grace and Frankie. Seinfeld won with 91%. No surprise.
Yep.
Then we went what was that blank? So we had 8 King of Queens going against 9 Will and Grace. King of Queens won 73% of the vote. And I guess I gotta keep going until until there's something you want to talk about. I guess we kind of
yeah.
you don't want to talk about that, right? King of Queens, Will and Grace, 73%.
No. Yeah, we could. I mean, we got a long show here. We've got a huge bracket, so it's really tough to go through each one of them.
So until there's some sort of surprise, I'll just kind of rattle them off. Number 5, Entourage beats Everybody Hates Chris with 87%. The Big Bang Theory lost. This one I thought was a pretty big upset. I told you it would happen to Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek, in convincing fashion, 68% of the vote. I told you it's very popular nowadays to hate The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, call me.
Yep, I sure did.
I started it.
Yep, you did. Number 6 seed Eastbound and Down beat Silicon Valley 86% to 14. Number 3 Modern Family beat The Nanny 80-20. Number 7 Full House beat number 10 The Goldbergs 76 to 24. Number 2 The Simpsons beat My Wife and Kids 79 to 21.
Yep.
The Office Shutout Community 100-0. Home Improvement beat the Golden Girls 55-45. Anything you want to talk about there? Or not really.
The only thing I want to say real quick,
Yep.
somebody, there were a few people that told me Community was
Too low.
yeah, they thought it should have been higher. But
I've never seen it for what it's
neither
worth.
have I. I've seen parts of it. I've seen an episode here and there. It's very funny, but I'm very sorry to disappoint you people.
Fair enough. Listen, we're never gonna get it perfect, all right?
No.
You know. Even the committee and putting together March Madness bracket, it's never perfect.
Sure.
5 Scrubs beats number 12 Californication 100-0. Number 4 30 Rock against number 13 Abbott Elementary. Abbott Elementary with a 13-4 upset, 60% to 40. Number 6 Ted Lasso beats 11 Family Matters 64-36. And then on our very first overtime game, this one kind of surprised me. It went to overtime. South Park versus number 14 Brooklyn Nine-Nine. At the end of the day, South Park took it with 56% of the vote, but it went to overtime. I was surprised Brooklyn Nine-Nine put up that much of a fight.
Yeah, it's so good.
It is good. Well, I don't know. I think we talked about it, 2 weeks ago. That wasn't my favorite show, but I got to see it, start to finish. Number 10, The George Lopez Show beat number 7, The Good Place, 56-44. Number 2 beat number 2, Curb Your Enthusiasm beat number 15, The League, 81-19.
That was a little closer than I thought it would be. And going back, 30 Rock. I'm shocked Abbott beat 30 Rock.
I am too.
Just because I know a lot of people love 30 Rock.
Yeah, I guess Abbott Elementary is kind of new and fresh on people's minds.
Sure.
So I'm sure that helps. Number 1, Friends beats number 16, Atypical, 75-25. Boy Meets World crushes Sex and the City, 100-0.
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked. I'm not shocked that Boy Meets World won.
Neither am I.
Although we'll find out later in the bracket, Boy Meets World goes in like a Cinderella type run.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised it was 100-0.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I agree.
That 70 Show beats Blackish 69-31. Saved by the Bell beats Veep, big upset 13-4, 62-38.
It's another shocking one.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know how many people have seen Veep. I never have. I've heard great things, but I think that's probably why.
I'll explain at the end a little bit more about it, because it's not just Veep. I think it's a couple of them. So we can keep going.
Number 6, Arrested Development beat Married with Children 58-42. It's Always Sunny beats Freaks and Geeks 82-18. 2.5 Men beat Bob's Burger 63-37. How I Met Your Mother beat Big Mouth 79-21. Nothing there you want to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Number 1, Cheers against number 16, Rick and Morty. Cheers 182-18. Number 8, Everybody Loves Raymond beats number 9, Frasier 71-29. Shameless beat Reba 76-24. And then another overtime matchup. Number 4, Cosby Show. Number 13, Workaholics. And Workaholics with the upset, 54% of the vote. Number 6, Family Guy beats number 11, Malcolm in the Middle, 82-18. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air beats Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, 100-0. Roseanne beats New Girl. I strongly disagree. We talked about this. Strongly disagree with this one. 63-37. And then Parks and Rec beats Mom 88-12. And that rounds out the first round.
Yep. I'm so happy Workaholics won.
Against the Cosby Show?
Yeah. I voted for Workaholics.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was surprised that Workaholics won. I
was giving it the sympathy vote because I didn't think it was gonna win, and I remember clicking it and being like, "Holy shit, this!"
Well, you were the difference then. If you were the difference, because without your vote, that doesn't go into overtime.
Probably, yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? All right. So then, the second round, you have number 1, Seinfeld against number 8, King of Queens. Seinfeld destroys 90-10. Entourage beats Schitt's Creek 69-31. Number 3, Modern Family beats number 6, Eastbound and Down 71-29. Number 2, The Simpsons beats number 7, Full House 76-24. Number 1, The Office beats number 8, Home Improvement 78-22. A close matchup, 5 Scrubs against 13 Abbott Elementary. Abbott Elementary put up a fight. 53% of the votes though going to Scrubs. Number 3, South Park versus Ted Lasso. This wasn't even close. 84-16. Surprised it was that much of a blowout.
Yeah.
Number 2, Curb Your Enthusiasm versus number 10, George Lopez Show. Curb takes it with 83% of the vote. Over to the other side of the bracket, we had
Friends, number 1.
Yes, I'm sorry, Friends and Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World takes it.
Shocked.
That is shocking. For some reason, I have the percentages flipped around on my thing. So for some reason, that's the reason I got thrown off is because on my sheet I have 57% for Friends, 42% for Boy Meets World. I think it was reversed. So 57 goes to Friends.
So the thing that I'm going to say at the end also has to do with this matchup. But go ahead.
Okay. And then the next matchup, That 70s Show and Saved by the Bell overtime matchup. 52% of the vote in the end goes to That 70s Show. It's Always Sunny against Arrested Development, 80-20. It's Always Sunny takes it. Number 7, 2.5 Men versus number 2, How I Met Your Mother. 2.5 Men, surprisingly, I took it with 54% of the vote. Number 1 seed, Cheers against number 8 seed, Everybody Loves Raymond. Cheers took it with 65% of the vote. Number 5 seed, Shameless beats number 13, Workaholics, 63% of the vote. Number 6, Family Guy beats number 3, Freshmen's of Bel-Air. I was a little surprised about this one.
Shocked at that one too.
75% of the vote. I mean, that's a pretty big gap too. And then number 2, Parks and Rec beats number 10, Roseanne, 58% of the vote.
Yep.
So then we go into the Sweet 16. You have number 1, Seinfeld beats Entourage, just destroying everybody in its path.
Yeah.
71% to 29.
It's a true 1 seed.
Yes. Number 2, The Simpsons beats number 3, Family Guy. Modern Family. 53 to 47. It's a close matchup. Number 1, The Office beats Scrubs, 62% of the vote to 38. And then Curb beats South Park with 57% of the vote. And then we have Boy Meets World, the number 9 seed going against the number 5, That 70s Show. Boy Meets World takes it with 54% of the votes. And then It's Always Sunny versus 2.5 Men goes into overtime, and It's Always Sunny takes it with 52% of the vote. Cheers and Shameless goes against each other. 65% goes to Cheers. Family Guy and Parks and Rec. And again, Family Guy just keeps on rolling. 74% of the vote. So, all right. So then we go into the Elite 8. Number 1, Seinfeld versus number 2, The Simpsons. 57% goes to Seinfeld. They move on to the Final 4.
Is that the closest matchup so far for Seinfeld?
Oh, for Seinfeld, yes, easy.
Yeah.
Easy, because they won 91%, 90%, 71%, and 57%. And then The Office and Curb play, and this was a close matchup, 52% for Curb.
It's almost a buzzer beater.
Yep. And then number 9 seed, Boy Meets World against number 3 seed, It's Always Sunny, and the Cinderella run comes to an end as It's Always Sunny. It's Always Sunny takes it with 59% of the vote to Boy Meets World. Number 1, Cheers against number 6, Family Guy. And Family Guy keeps going along. 77% of the vote. And then that takes us to the Final 4. We have number 1, Seinfeld against number 2, Curb Your Enthusiasm. And Seinfeld just keeps going. 65% of the vote. They move on to the finals. And then you have It's Always Sunny and Family Guy. That's the 3 and the 6 seed. And number 3, It's Always Sunny takes it. And then that leaves us to our final, Seinfeld. Number 1, Seinfeld versus number 3, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And in the closest matchup Seinfeld's had all tournament, Seinfeld takes it with 56% of the vote.
Okay. So I have a theory here.
Okay.
So, 2 theories.
Okay.
One, nostalgia really people
Sure.
really really love the nostalgia. And number 2, the demographic voting. So it on Twitter or X, whatever you want to fucking call it. I think that most of it is 40 and under, right? You would probably assume most of Twitter is the age of 40 and under.
Yeah. Although are young people on Twitter anymore? I feel like it's more I don't think it's 18 to 40. I think it's 25
no, it's probably
to 40.
I was going to say even if it's 25 to 40, yeah. I think that proves the point even more that It's Always Sunny, which is a great show, goes on a run like it does because people would rather 25 to 40-year-olds would probably rather watch It's Always Sunny versus, I know it didn't play go against the Cosby Show, but like the Cosby Show or Married with Children or Roseanne or
Sure.
something along the lines of like people who are
Well,
40 plus that probably grew up with
is
that
40 the
as live
cutoff?
television.
Is 40 the cutoff though? Like,
For what?
I'm 32 and I would watch all those shows. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I would watch them all too.
yeah, as I'm saying, like,
But I'm just saying, I
don't know if anybody 40 is too young to understand those shows. You know what I mean?
No. I'm not saying that they don't understand the show. I'm just saying what's on television right now that like a 32 or a 29 or a 40-year-old is watching. They're not watching Cosby Show every day. They're
Sure.
watching It's
Yeah.
Always Sunny. So like in their mind, it's like I'm just gonna vote for Always Sunny because
Recency
it made me laugh
bias.
yesterday.
Yeah, I guess there's two different ways of doing it. Like you said, the
Right.
nostalgia and the recency bias. Like
Yeah.
it depends on how you're voting.
I think Sunny's a great show. I don't think it should have made it as far as it did.
Well, we talked about it 2 weeks ago when we were putting this back together. Like I watched the first like 7 episodes of Sunny, absolutely loved it, and then I for whatever reason just never finished.
Sure.
It. So
And the whole like Family Guy thing, I love Family Guy. I think the first 10 years of Family Guy was, or maybe even 11 or 12 years of Family Guy was incredible. And then the last like
got a little stale. I feel
10 or
like.
15 years, the last like 10
Yeah.
years, it's been toned back a little bit.
Sure.
So like it's not as good, but like
Well, it's like the opposite of Family or South Park. Like South Park still keeps pushing buttons.
sure. Which
So.
I think South Park at times is a little overrated. I think it's very funny. But I do think there are times where it's like, you know, a little bit of the same thing all the time. But I guess it's really hard to change like a cartoon. So
Like let's be real. This Final Four sucks. Like Seinfeld, in my opinion, one of the most overrated shows of all time. I don't think it's the least best.
but like from your bias view or from like a logistic view?
My
Because
bias says
logistically,
that
I was
it's
gonna
not
say because
funny.
logistically, well, no, I'm saying it being in the Final Four.
Well, no, we have it as 1C for a reason. I understand the cultural significance and like
Right. So
the
you're not shocked.
following that it has. I'm not shocked. I
Okay.
just strongly disagree that it's better than a majority of the shows. Like I'm trying to like, is it better than The Simpsons? Like I think that's kind of a toss up. I think The Simpsons are a little overrated too.
I agree.
But
But again, like
if
us,
it had a better
us
chance.
Go
Like
ahead.
if it went against like it didn't because Simpsons beat Modern Family, but like if Modern Family gets the matchup against Seinfeld, like Modern Family should take that easy in my opinion. I think it's a far better show than Seinfeld.
It's so close. I love both. That would be a tough matchup for me.
I think The Big
would
Bang
really
Theory. I
think
know you
about
don't like
that.
The Big Bang Theory. I think The Big Bang Theory is funnier than Seinfeld.
That's fine. That's your opinion. I mean, I'm not.
I think
gonna
King
sit
of
here and tell you
Queens,
something's not
Entourage,
funnier.
Schitt's Creek. Like I think there's a lot of shows on here that I would put above Seinfeld. But again, I'm obviously in the minority because it ended
Sure.
up winning and we had it as a 1 seed, and I get it. But Curb I've never seen, but because of my biases in Seinfeld, I don't give it the time of day. Fair or unfair. It's Always Sunny. Like yeah, I mean I liked it, but over that 70 show. I mean I didn't go against that 70 show, but like. 2.5 Men. Like I was surprised it beat 2.5 Men. Like 2.5 Men, in my opinion, is.
But
a funny
again,
show.
like 2.5 Men in that 70 show, they're not on television. Like you know what I mean? Like
sure. Well,
it's
no,
really hard.
2.5 Men's. I mean, I don't know how many. How people probably don't have cable much anymore. But like, I was, and I don't either. I have YouTube TV, but like you could still scroll the channels or whatever.
Sure.
And, like, 2.5 Men's on every night. You can
Yeah,
find
but like,
these.
but I'm saying like new episodes. Like,
Sure.
It's the only show on here that. Well, I'm not gonna say the only show. There's probably like 5 or 6 shows on here that will stand the test of time, and maybe not that, but like currently, that are currently doing this thing where the replays are on every night and people are watching it, and there's no new episodes, but they go far in this bracket. Seinfeld, The Office, Curb. Well, Curb is not on cable, but like.
And Curb still fairly like it just ended, didn't it? Like a year or two ago.
It came back. Well,
yeah, it came back, but then it just ended like the second. one
Yeah,
just
they did like
ended,
a reboot for like 2 or 3 seasons, and then it ended again. But like, yeah, so like I just think there are a few shows on here that are just gonna steamroll no matter what.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. It was interesting.
Yep. But either way, the people say Seinfeld is the greatest TV comedy of all time. I'm alone, I guess.
I did see somebody's comment that made me happy. Hold on, I'll
Okay.
try to find it really quick. So I think it was. Oh, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but it's Matt Minark. Minark.
Yep.
This was a lot of fun. Thanks for doing this, and that's why we do it.
That's why we do it. That's the reason we did it. So thank you to everybody for being a part of it.
Yep.
Because it was fun. I mean, listen, I'll be honest. When when we first talking about whether we do it on your Twitter or the podcast Twitter, you were like, it's a lot of work. You just gotta keep up with it. After I did it, I kind of get it now. It was the first 2 days. I could have having to remind myself. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get the matchups in, because it was definitely a lot to keep up with for sure.
Of course, it gets easier as it goes on because there's less matchups. But that first week is a lot.
The first 2 or 3 days, I was going through it.
Yeah, it's like every few hours, because I would do it at 12, and then I would do it every 2 hours, and then I'd be like, "Fuck, I forgot." Like in the night, I forgot to do the last matchup, so I'd have to do it the next day at 9 in the morning.
Yeah, see, I think I started it at 10 a.m.
Yeah,
and I think I did I started every 2 hours, and then as I got later in the day, I realized there's not really enough time in the day for me to keep doing every 2 hours. So then I started doing every hour, and then it got even later, and I'm like, I should have got to do it every half hour. So yeah, it was tough, but anyway, we got through it. It was fun. We'll come up with another one to do next year.
Yep.
Sure. So I'm watching the Capitals Bruins game. Capitals just took the lead.
4 away.
He is now 3 away from tying it, 4 from breaking.
Yeah.
Scored a goal tonight. So we'll see what happens. The Caps just took a lead with 9 minutes left, so you never know. Maybe he gets an empty net goal. Gets it down to 3.
Yeah.
So, speaking of hockey, I mean, we can kind of lead with that then in sports. John Tortorella gets fired, and I didn't think it would happen now. I thought it could possibly happen in after the season's over. But what are they doing firing him now? Because then you win 3 straight, and now you're gonna get a worse pick out of it.
Yeah,
just keep losing. I don't understand why you these games are meaningless. There's no reason to win these games. Why fire him?
Yeah, it's tough. It's I guess because of all the stuff that is coming out, allegedly coming out, or the alleged stuff that's coming out. You kind of can't keep him around if it's all true. But what a fucking shit show.
Yes. Yeah, and they lose. I think it was 7-2 to Toronto. Cam York makes a dumb, boneheaded play in the first period. Fine, I get it. Sits him for the rest of the game, and apparently they have some sort of, I don't know if it was a screaming match. They have some sort of thing that happened. According to the guys on the Spit and Chicklets podcast, Torres basically got personal, threatened him, saying, I'm going to bury you if you resign with this team. I don't know how true any of that stuff is, but sounds like it got personal. Sounds like Cam York gave it back to him, and I guess at that point, and then you have the press conference after that game where where Tortorella says, I have no interest in learning how to coach this type of team in this situation or whatever he said. It was just a giant shit show after that game, and he kind of dug his own grave there.
Yeah, a bit. I think the writing was on the wall, and it was inevitably going to happen. It just kind of sped up the process a little bit, probably with his comments. And then what was it? Didn't they lose big the game before that too, or 2 games before that?
It might have been the game before that. I forget exactly, but I remember specifically the
Toronto. Yeah, they lost by 2 touchdowns, 2 straight games combined.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean. And then they fire him, and now they look like they could make the playoff. They're not going to make.
Obviously not. But I tell you what,
if they did this in December, it looked like they could potentially make the playoffs.
Matvei Michkov is playing so free. If you just watch him play, he looks like a totally different player.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has the freedom now. It seems like a weight's off his back, and he looks faster. He looks more engaged. He's having fun. He what?
Looks like he's having fun.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And he even cracked the joke after last game. Did you see that?
He's allowed to do that?
He's allowed to do that. He cracked the joke.
Wow.
Did you hear?
I
Did
didn't
you hear
know
what he said?
the last 2 years. I didn't know that they were allowed to do that.
Yeah. Well, Russians.
Russians under Tortorella specifically. I did not see the joke. No.
Yeah,
you're
he
right.
cracked the joke. So in the last game, 2 games before that, he hits the post on an empty net. Did you see that clip?
I did. Yep.
Okay, so then this past game, he gets a feed from Konechny and he kind of fans on it or whatever, blah blah blah. I think Jamie Drysdale ended up burying it right after that or whatever. But somebody asked him about that specific play in the post game. And he goes, well, the lights got a little bright for me there. And I'm paraphrasing. Obviously, there's a translator involved. But he's like, lights got a little bright there. Just kind of whiffed on it or whatever, lost sight of it because the lights are bright. He said, if the lights didn't get in my eyes or something, that I would have buried that goal unless it was an empty net or something like that. Like, cracked the joke because he just hit the post to the game prior or whatever. But it was funny. It was funnier the way he said it or the way the translator said it, I guess. But it's cracking jokes now. Like, he just seems like he's having fun.
Right. What's it, the last two or three? What's this, game 3 without Tortorella?
3-0, I think.
It's averaging like 2 goals a game.
Yeah, well, I think he's for 2, then 0.
Okay.
He had 2 assists though. I think he's averaging over like 2 points a game without him.
Yeah.
Because I think he's got 2 goals and an assist the first game. I think 2 goals the second game. Then I think 2 assists the third game. So, but just gotta keep finding ways to lose, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they need a better draft pick, obviously. Now and then at the end of the season, you gotta find you gotta get a coach, I guess. The search will be on.
Yeah. Who are some guys that you would be?
So I've heard names like I don't think Carolina's ever going to fire Rod Brind'Amour, but I've heard that name thrown out. I'm against Rod Brind'Amour. I know he's kind of a favorite here, but I'm against that. I've heard Rick Tockett's name if he was to move on from Vancouver. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
I've heard David Carl, who is the coach of. Why am I drawing a blank on what school he's at? Denver. I want to say Denver. Okay. He's been really built up a really good program there. And kind of the hot, he's a hot young college coach.
You think he's hot?
Yes, I do. Yes, you got me. The coach that I'm interested in, that's probably number 1 on my list, is Todd Nelson. Todd Nelson is the coach of the Hershey Bears in the AHL. He is, which is the minor league system of the Washington Capitals. He's won 2 straight Calder Cups down there. And if you look at the Capitals this year, a lot of the guys, the Capitals are the best team in the NHL. A lot of the guys that are on this team went through that Hershey Bears team. So I think he's got a pretty good track record of developing talent, and he's built them pretty good down there in the AHL. So that's probably near the top of my list.
Okay. Bands make your dance?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I don't know any of those guys, or most of them. I know Brind'Amour, but
you know Tocchet too.
Oh, Tocchet too, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to see this next phase, because do you think that wherever they end up getting their pick, like whether it's a top 5 pick, whether it's top 8, whatever it is, do you think that's going to point them in a direction of when the rebuild, when the trajectory to go up starts? Does that make sense? Like, if they get the 8th pick in the draft this year, do you think that they would maybe trade it and maybe go into next year kind of hoping
trade the pick
again? Yeah. And maybe try to lose a little bit next year. But if they get maybe a top 5 pick or top 3 pick or something, I don't know. I just kind of feel like the higher the pick, the more
I guess it's possible
to speed up the process a little bit.
I'm also curious, and it's very rare when you see top 5 picks traded. But I wonder if they do end up with picks. Yeah, I wonder if they do end up with pick 7 or 8. If they try it, because they have 2 other first-round picks. I wonder if they try to move up to the top 4 or 5 with whether it's one, whether it's say they have pick 8. Whether it's pick 8 and pick 28 and maybe another mid-round pick. Like, I wonder if they do something like that to move up a couple spots.
Yeah.
I could see that, them trying to do that, but...
Did you see, I think it was who Michkov followed on Instagram.
I saw that. I don't know how true that. It's true that he followed him, but like, how can you look up to see if he just like the tweet was, oh, he just followed Brady Kachuk. Like, how do you know when he did?
People, when there is a time, because obviously Brady Kachuk, like last offseason in the summer, there were like a lot of talks.
There's no chance they get rid of him now.
Probably not. No.
If Ottawa was a disaster, I could understand the talk. They're going to make the playoffs, and
right.
You're going to see Brady Kachuk in the playoffs.
But with that talk last offseason, I'm sure there are people that legitimately like there are losers on the internet, if you haven't noticed.
Sure, yes.
Who follow that kind of stuff and like check every few days to see like because they want Brady. I mean, me. They want
you've been pushing
loser,
that for the last
loser
couple
that
years.
wants Brady
Yes.
Kachuk. Yeah.
Yes.
But people follow that stuff, man. Like it's 2025. You know.
I guess unless you're following it like every other day, like when can you know that he just recently did it?
Well,
you know what
I mean, maybe they do it every week, like once a week. Like 2 weeks ago, he wasn't following me, now he is.
Yeah.
So like you can paint that as just followed.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
It was me, guys. It was me.
You're the loser.
Yes, I'm the loser that stalked Matt Michkov's Instagram because I wanted to know if he would follow Brady Kachuk.
Yes. The one thing I will say that the narrative that kind of annoys me is like, and I tweeted this earlier today, is Flyers fans, a lot of them just look for shit to bitch about. Like the big narrative, and we've said it so far tonight, is, you got to start winning games, or because you're going to get a lesser pick, and like I hear a lot of people bitching and moaning about like, oh well, the guy that's 7 or 8, he's going to suck. It's going to be the next, third line depth player that's going to be irrelevant.
Yeah,
it's like, well, last year a guy was drafted number 12 that they passed on, that everybody's calling the next superstar, Zeev Bouillon or whatever his last name. It's like, well, how can the guy that they drafted 7 or 8 be terrible, but the guy that they passed on last year that was at 12 is going to be a superstar? Like, just I'm just tired of the hypocrisy in that.
Yeah,
like, be consistent.
And I'm sure like you could find like any random like you could look at like the 2018 NHL draft and the 2016 NHL draft and find a guy that was taken like 15th overall that's like a really great, like a top 6 guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, David Pastrnak was taken like 20 something.
Yeah, I mean, Giroux was at what, 25?
Something like that. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, 20, 25, 20 or
22
between 20 and 25.
or something like that. I think it was 22ish. Yeah.
So it's very possible. It's just, it's got to be the right guy.
Yep, I agree. But yeah,
Did
that's
you see those pictures of Misa?
Did I what?
Did you see those pictures of Misa?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I did not.
Yeah, they're saying he might fall to 7 or 8.
No way.
No, I'm kidding.
April Fools.
Yeah, no, I was making the joke so that he would, let's start a rumor.
Okay, all right, yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
All right, Michael Misa.
I don't know what the pictures are, but there are pictures.
Oh, you're saying those kind of pictures?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought you meant like graphics online. Okay.
No.
All right. Oh yeah. All right. No. I like.
He was smoking weed.
Yes.
Whatever it was. You saw those, right?
Yeah. He was laying in bed next to an Instagram model and took a picture of her without her consent, and now it's all over the internet.
They had gas masks on. It was
a whole thing. It was a whole to do.
Yeah. Yep.
We should run with this.
Yeah.
Let's just create a false narrative that like he doesn't want to play anywhere else but Philly,
right?
And kind of luck into him the same way we lucked into Matvei Michkov.
I like it.
I like this plan. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about the Flyers. So the Phillies started their season.
Sure did.
In mid-season form, striking out like 14 of the first like 17 batters or whatever it was. But they won the game, surprisingly.
Right.
That's all that matters, I guess, is wins and losses.
It's so funny because the national media, really, I wouldn't even say the national media, the Philadelphia media last year killed Trey Turner. They killed Kyle Schwarber. They killed Nick Castellanos. They killed Bryce Harper in the playoffs for complaining about the shadows the same way that they complained about opening day. And all of a sudden, people were saying after opening day, and I'm not going to name the station that complained about it in October of last year, but gave a pass on opening day this year about the shadows. But there's a specific radio station in Philadelphia that did that.
There's really only one of two, so 50% chance of guessing which one.
You can all guess whichever one you want, but it's probably both, honestly.
Probably.
But yeah, they killed this team in October for saying that the shadows are really bad, and then opening day comes and they say the shadows are really bad. I'm like, oh man, the radio is going to kill them tomorrow. And you turn on the radio and they sit there and say, well, why do they play at 4 o'clock? They shouldn't play at 4 o'clock.
To be fair, 4 o'clock's stupid.
They probably shouldn't. No, I agree.
What's the remember opening day used to be awesome where you wake up, you're all excited, and obviously, different having a job and not or whatever, but opening day always used to be 1 o'clock. You get 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Why? The first MLB game I think was 3. There was no 1 o'clock games. It was 3 o'clock, 3:40, and 4. So
there was. I think the Yankees Brewers was 1:30.
No.
On opening day, are you sure?
Yep,
it wasn't 3 o'clock.
It was 3. Yep, 3:05.
Was it 3 o'clock?
Yep.
Okay.
3:05 then 3:35. I remember because I specifically was looking on the MLB app because I wanted to listen to whatever the first game was on. I mean, you could look it up. There's probably a way to find that out. But
I for some reason I thought it was 1 or 1:30.
No, I know the Phillies play. I think 1 o'clock Thursday.
I'll be there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Colorado still, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I took a day off to watch Taijuan Walker pitch.
There you go.
Gotta love it.
Are you going by yourself, with the wife, with the daughter? What's the plan?
Coworkers.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. A couple of us. So we got free tickets, and a couple of us were like, oh, okay, if you go, I'll go.
Nice.
And I didn't need much convincing, so
right.
I'll go for a half day to work, and then
nice.
We'll head down there. But yeah, so
enjoy Taijuan Walker pitch.
I will. Well, it doesn't make sense because I was excited because it was supposed to be Wheeler, and then they bumped him up a day. Apparently, I think he pitches tomorrow night now because he can't go.
Yeah, probably tomorrow.
Yeah,
night. Well, because they had the first game, then they had a day off, then they played a couple more, then they had another day off. They give these players so many days off in the beginning of the season.
Well, that's because if you notice, it's mostly Northeast teams that get off all this time.
Sure.
Because of the rain,
snow,
the cold, and all that. Oh, if you notice, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 4-game series, I think most of them were warm temperatures.
Yeah.
Retractable domes, things like that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about retractable domes in baseball? I'm curious. This is a hot take.
32 teams. 32 teams.
Really? In baseball?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. And it's the same thing for football. I think if you live in an area like Houston, right? Like Houston for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense because they use it to their advantage, right? When October comes, they open up the stadium and it's really warm compared. When the Phillies went down there at the end of October, it was cold here. They would go to Houston and it would smack them in the face, the humidity. So you use it to your advantage. I think that's that's a good thing. I think teams should use it to their advantage. But just no more rain delays. No more, rainouts. None of that.
And I want it to be retractable. I don't like the regular just dome.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And then is it Toronto that has a dome? It's dumb. I don't like that.
No, that's retractable.
Is it retractable?
Mm-hmm.
Who just
Tampa.
has a dome?
Tampa's the only one that
has
has
a Tampa?
dome, I believe. Yeah.
And that's gone anyway.
Right now they don't have a dome. Yeah. Literally don't have a dome.
No, they're gonna be playing in Nashville in a few
billions of dollars, and they can't fix a roof.
Yeah, right.
Fucking thing happened in October. They're still working on it. It's not going to be ready until next year.
Yeah.
They might even have a team next year.
I told you, they're going to be in Nashville in a couple of years or some other city. They're going to sell. They're going to have to move.
I think they go back to Canada. I do.
To Montreal?
Yeah.
What do you mean back to Canada? They never went to.
No, I'm saying a team goes back to Canada.
Yeah.
Montreal, I mean.
I don't know. I don't know that, I don't know. I think they'd rather go to Nashville first. Unless Nashville's expansion.
I think Nashville is expansion. Which I'm against.
Why are you
But-
against it? Are you against expansion or are you against Nashville?
Expansion
Okay.
in all sports.
I
think-
yeah. I
I
don't
think there's too
disagree.
many.
I think Major League Baseball's already kind of watered down, to be honest.
Okay. I mean,
Like I don't think you need to thin out talent in that sport already.
why? What do you mean?
You look at lineup and like, well, one you look at lineups and like the 6, 7, 7, 8, 9 hitters all stink. The fifth pitchers all stink, and then you look at like the bad teams, like
Right.
they're awful. Like you're just make these teams worse.
Right, we agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
No, yeah, for sure. I'd rather see like maybe not half the teams, but like a quarter of the teams go away and just kind of make everybody good.
Like Oakland, see ya.
Yeah.
What the White Sox? Why did Chicago
Well,
doesn't need
honestly,
two teams?
like
The White
I'm
Sox,
cool with,
see ya.
I'm cool with the A's going to Vegas. I think Vegas should have a team. But it's like
Yeah, but I don't know.
I'm not talking about specific. I'm talking about cities, like specific cities. Like,
But
I don't know. Do
like,
we need two teams in LA? Do we need two teams in Chicago? Do we need two teams
no.
in New York? Well, probably New York because at least both of those are somewhat relevant. All for most of
Yeah, you could get rid of the Angels, nobody would care.
no.
Get rid of the
White
White Sox, nobody would care.
cares.
Get rid of Tampa. You get rid of Miami.
Marlins?
Like I know Miami's a big city, but like nobody
Nobody
gives a shit.
cares.
Nobody cares down
They're
there.
good when they're good. Nobody cares.
Right.
Tampa, I'm done.
Yep.
Get out of Florida. Like Florida stinks.
Like Pittsburgh, would you get rid of Pittsburgh? It's such a beautiful ballpark,
it's-
though.
but,
Like,
like, again,
I don't know.
It's a beautiful ballpark. It's a great city. It's just like they refuse to do anything. So like, why have like? I don't know.
I'm trying to go through the Rolodex of teams,
Like
we can
Detroit,
get
I
rid
could
of.
keep around because they're at least like they've been around a really long time.
and it's a big city, and
Big city,
but again, you got like these teams got to do something. Like do something.
right? Minnesota has been so fucking mediocre. Like
That's it.
most of our lives. Like
Yep.
we have one playoff win in our lifetime. Like
Right.
or at least
Because
my lifetime.
they can't keep up. They can't spend the way the Yankees, the Dodgers, the
well, they
Cubs.
can.
like,
They just refuse to.
I don't know if they would survive if they do. They don't make the same amount of money.
They're
I mean,
billionaires.
I'm sure they could. Yeah, I'm sure they could figure it out.
works
That's
out.
why I know a lot of people talk like when they talk about baseball, they talk about salary cap. I'm a big proponent of like not just a salary cap, but a salary floor. Make these
Sure.
teams spend money.
Kansas City, like listen, I get
couldn't care
like
less.
yeah, in the middle of the country. Like it's just why does Missouri need two teams? You keep the
That's a good
Cardinals and
Yep.
you know, yeah. So I'm not. You take away 6. 8
San
teams.
Diego, you would get rid of them?
I keep San Diego. I like San.
All right,
San Diego's a
okay.
nice. It's they're willing to spend.
Yep,
They're it's
very
a nice
willing to
place
spend.
Go. It's good weather. It's a place where players want to go. You keep San Diego.
Arizona, you get rid of Arizona.
I fuck with Arizona too, honestly.
Okay, fair enough.
You could sell me on the Angels, get rid of the Angels. You could sell me on...
Milwaukee, would you get
What
rid
do
of
I need Milwaukee for? What's in Milwaukee?
That's a good question.
What's in Wisconsin? Other than like Chris Farley, like what has come from Wisconsin that's like any good?
That's a good question.
It's like -7 there all year round.
Don't they have cheese there? Or is that Green Bay?
I have cheese in Philadelphia. What do I need cheese in
Or
Green Bay for?
beer? Something comes from Wisconsin. Is it beer?
It's
Is that-
probably I think it's beer, but like
Like
it's
some
it's like Budweiser out there or something.
no Budweiser's isn't that in St. Louis? Aren't they called Budweiser Park or something? Or no, it's
It's not
Bush.
Bud-
That's Bush. It's Bush.
Bush.
It's Bush. Never mind.
I was gonna say I don't think yeah. Yeah, I have that here. I have that all here. I just go to ShopRite. Buy some beer. Where do I go to?
Milwaukee, often is called Brew City, is renowned for its rich brewing history.
I'm allergic to wheat, so like I'm good. I'll pass on the beer. Milwaukee does nothing for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Harley Davidson's from Milwaukee.
Good for him.
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I'm out of Milwaukee.
You're out on Milwaukee.
Yeah, you get rid of Milwaukee. You get rid
Cleveland?
of the Angels.
Cincinnati. Does Ohio
You
need two
definitely
teams?
don't need two teams in Ohio. I know that. I just don't know which one goes. Cincinnati's pretty historic.
Yeah.
So, like, but again, like, at least Cleveland shows up. Like, when they're good, nobody shows up to Cincinnati when they're good either.
Yeah, right. But they haven't been good for like a while.
No. I mean, at least they were good in our lifetime. The Phillies played them in the play. I mean, they made the playoffs a few years in a row.
Yeah.
Joey Votto, Brand Phillips,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
The Red Stockings, that's what they used to be called.
Right.
You had the Red Sox and the Red Stockings.
The Red Sox. The Red Sox, you obviously keep.
Of course. I mean, you keep this. You keep the Cubs. You keep the Yankees. You keep the Mets. You keep the
Atlanta. You keep in Atlanta.
You keep Atlanta because they're historic too. They started the Boston Braves. I'm fine with keeping Atlanta just because I can continue to hate them.
You do keep Toronto. Keep Toronto.
Yeah, I'm also cool with adding.
Okay.
I'm cool with one of those Florida teams going to Montreal too.
All right. I think I went over just about every team. I'm sure I'm missing
Seattle.
something.
We didn't talk about Seattle.
I always forget about Seattle.
They're pretty forgettable. But
They are pretty forgettable.
I mean, I feel like we've doxed a lot of them, so like
Yeah.
probably gotta start keeping some.
I think you keep Houston. I think they carry down there.
Yeah.
Keep Houston.
At least it's good. Well, semi-good ownership because they just let everybody walk except Altuve. They just don't give a fuck, but they're so good.
Because they've been good. They've been good at just kind of turning things around.
Yeah.
So they can afford to do that.
It's crazy though.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
they let everybody except Altuve walk, and then they just replace them.
Springer, Correa,
Correa, Tucker,
Bregman, Tucker, yeah.
Bregman, Tucker, somebody else. Maybe that's all, but of like the big guys.
That's the main guy. Yeah, the main guy. I can't really think of any pitching that they've let go.
I mean, Verlander was like kind of done.
Yeah, it's
at that point.
Yeah, right.
Garrett
Cole.
Walk.
Yeah, he's like Garrett Cole. Yeah.
So. Yeah.
But yeah, listen. Back to the Phillies. They kind of, the season kind of started the way that. Yeah, exactly. The season kind of started the way that we know this team. They'll strike out a shit ton, and then when their bats get hot, they're going to score runs. Like,
it's also very early.
Well, I understand that, but like at the same time, I feel like we always say that, and then June, July rolls around, and like the issues are still the same, and we're still like, oh, it's early. Like I don't know. I think I'm over the early thing.
Well, I mean, you can't be upset. I mean, you can't say everybody. Like you can only talk about you and I, right? Like you and
Sure.
I think you and I could sit here and say, well, we're 4 games into the season,
Sure.
right? 4, right? 4.
And they're 3-1, so I really can't even really complain.
Sure.
Like
there are concerns, absolutely.
Sure.
I'm not saying there are not. There are some concerns with their at bats. Although Castellanos looks like he's not mature, but what's the word I'm looking for? Adapted and kind of fixed a little bit of the for now.
He's not chasing as much right now.
For now.
Yeah.
I thought Trey Turner had a great at bat yesterday when he pinched it. Went down 0-2 and came back and worked the walk. Who else? But it's those lower end guys like Marsh. There was a really bad at bat by JT like the second game of the season that I can't remember what it was, but so like there are a few here and there where like you kind of wish they had a better at bat, but again, we're 4 games into the season. I think you and I can get to June and July, and if they're still having these issues, understand like okay, this is a real problem. Like
sure, but I understand why people this year specifically are quicker to kind of judge and to criticize.
I don't blame them.
It's the same thing that we've been dealing with the last 3 years, 2 or 3 years.
I don't
so
blame them.
So if they see the problems that they've been seeing, it's like, well, yeah, how can you expect different results when they literally ran it back with the same team?
Sure. I don't blame those people. It's just I'm just not ready to get there yet. Like, give me a few weeks to, because it takes these guys a while to kind of adapt to it.
Sure.
April's usually a really great month or bad month for a team. We kind of saw that last year, right? Like April, May, they were the best team in baseball, and then June, and then July, August, they were horrible, or mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
They were like 500, but Yeah, I don't know. It's just a little early for me. Either way, really. But there are some concerns with the at bats. There are some concerns with the fact that they only scored 2 runs on starting pitching so far.
Yep.
The strikeouts, obviously, again, I think we kind of agree with the Shadows a little bit. Like, it's kind of stupid to play a game at 3, 4 o'clock.
I do think it's really stupid. I'm not ready to use it like as a full blown excuse.
Sure,
but
because like they've been doing it like that. But that's the thing too. Like they've been doing it for years, and all of a sudden, like it's an issue. Like I don't know. It just seems like a cop out. But whatever.
Just because.
And every stadium is different.
Sure, but also it took them a little while to understand that there are torpedo bats. So as soon as they get all the torpedo bats in, we'll be fine.
Yeah. I think Bohm used it the other day.
He used one. I think he got a single.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
1 for 4 or something. Or
stinks.
2 for 4. Stinks. Okay.
I can't. I mean, I don't think he stinks, but
I don't think he's fine.
I'm just not a big Bohm guy.
I think he's like.
I've been on record saying that the last 4 years.
Yeah, I know. I think he's slightly above average. Slightly.
You know what he is?
Okay, go ahead.
He is probably the ideal number 2 hitter on this team.
But you don't like him. Why would you say ideal?
Because he does everything a 2-hitter does. I don't like him because he's a third baseman, and I think that he should be doing different things for a third baseman. That's the archaic way. I understand that's one of the few archaic things that I prefer. I just wish he would have like a little bit more power and would pull the ball a little bit more. I've said that a million times. But yeah, I if he's going to hit the way that he hits 15 homers, 97 RBIs, obviously that'd be a lot for a number 2 hitter. But he is the perfect number 2 hitter because he hits the ball the other way, hits a lot of doubles. He doesn't really work a walk. He doesn't really, especially if they went Turner, Bohm in the lineup. Obviously, Turner is, I wouldn't say a free swinger, but like he's looking to hit when he's up there. He's not looking to draw a walk. He's looking to hit. So like, if you have that as your 1 hitter, Bohm's probably not your ideal 2 hitter because you want a guy that's going to probably work a count a little bit if Turner's leading off with being aggressive.
Are you surprised they went away from Schwarber leading off? Because I don't think we talked about this on the show yet.
Well, there's only 1 game so far because Turner hasn't played.
Oh yeah, but they came out and said like Turner's going to be the leadoff guy. Like that's going to be.
Well, for right-handed pitching, it's Schwarber. Left-handed pitching, it's Turner.
Right. But either way, I'm still surprised they kind of did it.
I don't know, man. Do you think, because I think that we saw it where in the playoffs last year. I think we saw in the playoffs last year where what's his name? Rob Thompson is doing things that people have wanted him to do, and they just didn't work out. He pinch hit for guys. He sat Bohm game 2 or
game 3?
Game 3 sits Bohm game 3 because he's doing what the people are suggesting him to do, and it just didn't work out. Where I think, remember last year and the year before, it would be like JT would have the day off, and they'd be down 1 run with man on second, with 1 out, and like Stubbs would come up and he would just hit Stubbs and he would not pinch hit for Stubbs. He did that all the last 2 years, would just refuse to do the pinch hitter. And what did he do yesterday? Yesterday. Turner said, you know what, I'll go up and take a shot at it. And he pinched it and it worked out. I just think he's kind of trying to probably be a little bit more, I wouldn't say aggressive, but active. Yeah.
Sure.
Why was I making this point? Where did we start with this?
The leadoff thing.
Oh yeah. So I think that with people saying, maybe Turner should lead off and Schwarber should hit 4th, I think Thompson is saying, all right, fine, let's try it your way. In a sense, I don't think it's fully that, because I do think Thompson is. I'm not going to let so and so tell me how to do my job, or at least the fans. But I do think there's a little bit of that. Like, okay, did you know before this year? I think it was like only 80 times or 80 games where Schwarber hit 4th in his career.
Really?
Yeah. Before this year,
that much power, I'm surprised.
And I think a few of them were, because I remember you and I, we looked back on the first year of Schwarber and Castellanos. No, it was the first year of Turner.
For sure.
Because I said no, Turner never let off. It was always Schwarber.
It was the first 2 months or something, or a month.
It was the first month. Yeah, it was the first month. Yeah. When May rolled around, they finally went back with Schwarber. But Yes, so in those 80-something games, a month of that counts as, his time with the Phillies. So
And I don't. But was he? I know Turner let off in that first month, but was Schwarber the number 4 during that month?
I assume so, right?
What year was that?
2 years ago,
2022?
23. No, 22 was the World Series year Turner wasn't here. It was 23.
All right, hold on, I could look this up.
I mean, where else does he hit in the lineup?
I agree with you. I'm just.
Yeah. I just assumed that he was the 4th.
Let me see if I can find this. 2023 season. They had. All right, the first game. Let's go to the box score. March 30th. No, that's Schwarber too.
Interesting. Okay.
I will give you $100 if you could guess who was 4th in this starting lineup.
2023.
Yep.
All right, so you had Turner lead off. Schwarber hit 2. Was Harper 3 or 4?
Nope.
He's
nope.
4.
Harper.
Oh, he didn't
was
play.
Not in this line. Yeah, he was.
He was hurt.
Lineup. Yeah.
Okay. So 3 had to be Bohm.
Nope.
Was Bohm 4?
Nope.
5?
Nope.
6?
Nope.
He didn't play.
He's 7th.
Wow. Okay.
3 for 4 this day though for Bohm.
All right. So I'm trying to think of the team here. So was JT 3rd?
JT was 3rd. Yep.
All right. So you got Turner, Schwarber, JT. That's why I was messed up. That's why I figured Schwarber hit 4th because.
Maybe if Harper goes back, maybe it's a
Yeah.
little different. But I think by the time Harper came, was he out this whole entire year? No,
He was out in May. He came back in May, the end of May.
So by that point,
Was that
Schwarber
game?
was the leadoff guy. At that point, probably.
Sure. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I for some
So
reason I thought I just forgot Harper was hurt that
So
year.
I don't know if they've had a game up until the first game of this year
Where
that they
he's
had
hurt.
Turner lead off in a lineup where Harper's in. Maybe it's happened once or twice
Yeah.
over the course of the last couple
Sure.
seasons, but that's probably
So,
rare.
okay,
But anyway,
so-
$100 if you could guess who batted 4th this game.
All right. So you've got Turner lead off. Schwarber hit 2. Schwarber DH. Was DH?
Schwarber was DH, yes.
Because he played a little bit of left field. 3 was JT. 4. They didn't have. Well, they had Marsh at that point. Was Marsh
They did.
Marsh 9th?
Marsh was 9th, yep.
Castellanos, I'm guessing, is 5th.
Yep.
Sosa.
No, I don't think you're going to get it.
No, I gotta get it.
I feel like you've gotten so many guesses that like
Stott.
I can't give you $100 anymore. Your
Yes.
time getting
Yeah,
$100
no,
is
it's
up.
fine. Yeah.
That was a
I
virtual
wasn't
$100.
expecting you to give me $1 even if I did get it. So Stott is Stott in the lineup.
Stott is 6, yep.
Okay. So I've got I've got Turner leading off, Schwarber
Mhm.
hitting 2nd,
Yep.
JT hitting 3rd. We don't have the 4 hitter. Castellanos 5, Stott 6, Bohm 7, Marsh 9.
Yep. So you're missing
So we're
4
missing-
and 8.
We're missing a 3rd baseman and we're missing a left fielder.
No,
right?
you're not missing a third baseman.
I mean, left fielder
No,
and
you have Bohm at.
first base.
Yep.
Okay. So Bohm played 3rd because I know he played a little bit of first when.
He played 3rd this game.
Who the fuck?
I don't think you'll get either player, the left fielder or first baseman.
Oh my goodness. No, you got to give me a sec. It's obviously it's gonna be like a Tommy Joe. It's obviously not Tommy Joe.
You're kind of right on the yeah. It's exactly. Yep. You're
But
right there.
It's something like that.
You're right there.
Oh my god.
Jokes is probably like a great like analogy here. Honestly, it's a great comp.
It's like a Darren Ruff. Like,
You're right there. You're right there.
oh my gosh. Oh my god.
At what point do we do
Derek.
this?
Is it
What?
Derek?
It is. It is
Derek.
Oh,
Oh
There it
my
is.
god.
play. Yep. Play batted cleanup in the
Me-
home or I'm sorry, the
Good
season opener
gracious.
against the Texas Rangers
Me-
on March
so-
30th, 2023.
Me and my brother-in-law call him Derek,
Derek, yep.
because it doesn't spell it like Derek.
Yeah, it's
Derek.
Darick.
I think because we were on a fantasy team obviously at that point. So I think we picked him up for like 3 games because he was killing for like 3 games,
Yep.
and we picked him up, and every time he would have a hit, he hit like 3 straight homers, like 3 straight games, and we would just text each other, Derek.
He was 0 for 4 in this game for
Okay.
what it's worth. But I'm curious if you get the left fielder. I doubt you will. If you sat here long enough, I think you could, but I don't know.
Probably. Yeah, just give it to me. I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. This guy could rake. I'll say that.
Kid rake.
Rake. It's a pretty good hint by me, by the way.
Like really could rake or like
No.
Okay.
Like that was a nickname. It was a nickname. It's
nickname. Oh, it's what did I used to call him?
Jake Cave.
Jake Griffey Jr. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Jake Griffey Jr. Unreal. He was
Jake-
good for about
Jake
6
the
innings the whole year.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Collective.
That was quite the lineup from 2 seasons
Derek.
ago.
Oh man.
So there you have it. Anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here? The Eagles broke the NFL and the tush push.
push.
Everybody's losing their minds.
The rule. So my wife asked me this morning. She said, "Do you think because it was supposed to be today the ruling?" And she said, "Do you think that it gets banned?" And I said, "I don't." She said, "Why?" I said, "I don't know. I just have like a feeling. I just don't think they'll get enough votes." And then obviously got pushed back to May, right? The vote.
Yeah,
voting?
I didn't hear the specific date, but that sounds about right. They
Yeah,
all
I
is
heard
that they
sometime in
tabled
May.
it. Okay,
Because I think it has to be before OTAs or something, and that's usually like mid to late May.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of like there's June 1st is a big day of the calendar in the NFL. I think so. It probably has to be before that.
Yeah. And I told her. So she was the one who told me. She texted me and said they moved it back to May. And I said, "Oh, politics." And she was like, "What does that mean?" I said, they probably didn't get enough. They probably knew they weren't getting enough votes. This is just theory. I have nothing.
I can see this,
but they probably just didn't get enough votes to overturn it. That they push it back to try to convince.
Get people, convince people to vote for it.
Just a theory.
I can see that.
Because like, why else would they push it back?
I guess what rule can ban it? I guess you could go back to not being able to push players,
Right? Because
like that used to be a rule. You used to not be
Right.
able to like advance your own player basically. But like the QB sneak could still be legal. So I mean,
right. I think they'd still be successful without a push.
I agree.
I don't think we argue about this. I don't think they do it as much as you say they do. But I think there are times. I think there are times he does. Everything.
They push. Well, they push every time. Whether the push matters or not, I guess is a different story.
I disagree with that. I don't think they push every single time. I think there are times where they don't even get to him in time to push him, and he's already in. Not every time.
I mean,
most of the time they probably do push him.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I think they would be successful without a push.
And then I heard another like theory, like, oh, you can only do it on 4th down, and you can't do it inside the 2-yard line. It's like if we're doing this, like, let's just stop.
Either ban it or don't.
Exactly. Like, can we not just make this way more complicated than it needs to be? Everybody can't figure out how to stop it, so you want to ban it. Like that's all it comes down to. And the Eagles just do it better than everybody. Like I think Buffalo's tried it a number of times this year, and they weren't anywhere near as successful.
They were probably the second most successful, and they were not very good at it.
They were not good at it. So, I guess if you can't figure it out, ban it.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
I don't believe so. I feel like there's something, but I can't remember what it is.
Sixers, nothing.
No, I was in first place for my March Madness bracket after the first weekend. I got only like 2 wrong the entire first 2 rounds.
The first 2 rounds don't matter as long as like you get your Final Four. Like,
well,
first 2 rounds essentially don't matter.
Yeah, to a certain degree.
Because so the one like fun bracket or whatever that I filled out, I was like killing it.
But it's also
Or
the
no,
hardest rounds.
I was. What was that?
They're the hardest rounds too.
Sure, I think I was terrible in the first two rounds, but like my final four were still alive. So like as soon as I think it went into the Elite Eight, I was like, top of the bracket or whatever. But then I had Alabama and they lost, and then my whole bracket was busted.
Right.
And, like that was late though, but
So I was in first place the first two rounds. You should have seen me. I thought I was winning the whole thing. $1,000 in my pocket. Can't talk me shit.
Yep.
And then
got humbled a little bit.
Sweet 16 smacked me in the face.
Who'd you have?
Actually,
who
lost? Who was it that absolutely tore me apart? Oh, Maryland lost to Florida. That tore me apart. I was not well for a few minutes. Yeah, because I was still in first place when this happened. It was the second game of the Sweet 16, so overall, like the second game overall, and I lost the first game, but it wasn't like I think I had the team that won that game losing the next round anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Okay.
There were like 3 or 4 other teams that were tied for second that had Florida winning the whole thing. So if Maryland would have beaten Florida, all their brackets would have been busted, and I would have been partying even more. But
yep,
it was a good weekend of basketball. Like college basketball is so much fun. It's so much better than the NBA.
It is fun.
It just that specific night, like the UConn game was a lot of fun to watch, even though they got totally what's the word I'm looking for? Drawing a blank here.
I don't know. But
some really no bad calls,
yeah.
like bad no calls.
Yeah.
The last like 4 minutes of the game. Alabama scored 113. Like that doesn't happen in college basketball. They were hitting on all cylinders.
Listen, after watching, I'm obviously no expert. After watching Duke play approximately like 45 minutes, I might not have even been watching that much, a half hour tops, I can definitively say I think Cooper Flag is going to be a bust.
You think?
I don't see it.
There's only one thing that worries me about him.
He's a corny white kid from Duke. He's not going to be good.
That's
a really corny white dude. Like just looking at him, he looks like a douchey Duke white dude.
See, I actually had the opposite thing with him all year. I was like, this kid's gonna be a bust, blah blah blah. And then, at least not in the tournament, but like the week before he got hurt, going into the tournament because he got hurt. I think it was like 2 games before the tournament. But he came back for the first game. They were worried that he was hurt pretty bad. He was gonna miss the tournament, but he came back for the first game. He was not very good in that first game. But the week or two before he got hurt, I was like, wow, this kid actually might be really, really fucking good.
I just don't know that. Like, I just see, like, physically, I just don't know that he's gonna be. Like, he just looks. I don't know. Just doesn't look very big.
Well,
like,
I mean,
thick-wise.
Are you familiar with Chet Holmgren?
No, I have no idea who that is.
Look him up. He's killing it.
But he's got a dorky name like Chet.
Well, yeah.
Who's that? Is he in the NBA?
Yeah, I think his second or third year.
And I understand the NBA is not like a tough league that it used to be. Like, your size doesn't necessarily matter anymore.
As long as you can shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just look at
like
Flag.
Durant,
the corny douchebag from Duke.
Durant and Holmgren are probably thinner than Cooper Flag.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, I told you I could snap Durant's leg in half.
We're gonna. But that's why I have winning in that one.
Duke.
Yeah, and then my work one I had Houston. Obviously, both in the Final Four, but I think I'm out both anyway. So
all 4 ones are in the Final Four, right?
Yes, I was gonna say I don't. When's the last time that happened?
It's been a while. The 80s, I think, or the early 90s.
Well, let me check my work one actually, because I think I'm the only one that has Houston.
Oh, really? Well, if they win,
I
you
might win that.
Win.
7th place, all right, that's not bad. Let's see if anybody else above me. On the
I lied. It has not the 80s or 90s. It was 2008.
That's still a long time ago, actually.
Yes.
For 4 1 seeds, like that's pretty long time ago. One of the person is Houston, and they're pretty much like the max points they can get are 103. Mine is 156. So if Houston wins, I win, right?
Yes, I would. I
Yeah.
would assume so. Yeah.
Unreal. I hope so. But I feel like Houston. It's every year. Houston and Gonzaga. I always pick whenever Gonzaga is like a high seed. I always pick Houston and I always pick Gonzaga, and they never ever win.
Where is Gonzaga?
Like
You know that?
where's it located?
Yes.
Washington State.
You could have given me 30 chances to guess what state that was in. I don't think I would have came up with Washington.
I could have given you 50, and you probably wouldn't have gotten it.
But I would have either said like New York or like one of the southern teams, like like
it's
Georgia or something.
like North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, right.
That has like 70% of the fucking colleges.
Yeah,
The
never
SEC.
would have guessed Washington State.
But wait, there was one that I found out the other day. I was like, what? I had no idea it was in this specific state. I can't remember what it is.
There was a weird school, and maybe it's the same one that you're thinking of, because I can't remember the specific school. But there was one school where I was like, huh? And it was in like Indiana or Iowa or something weird.
There was
like
one.
that.
The one that I'm thinking of, I think, is Nebraska. There's a school in Nebraska that's in the tournament every year. And I'm like, what? Well, I'm gonna look at the tournament. Because I think they were in it this year.
Okay.
Hold on one sec. Bear with me.
You're good.
I think it was Nebraska, or it might have been Iowa. It might have been the one you were talking about. Oh, Creighton.
Creighton. They're in Nebraska?
I believe so. Somewhere like the Midwest. Like you could have told. Like I thought Creighton was like, like Indiana or like Michigan or like New Jersey. Like I didn't know Creighton was.
Well, I don't know that I ever would have said New Jersey for Creighton.
Well, you live in New Jersey.
Well, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska.
I had no idea Creighton was in Omaha.
I'm trying to look. Oh, it was Purdue. I never would have guessed Indiana.
Oh yeah, I knew Purdue was Indiana because they're Big Ten.
Okay.
So
I'm trying to look right.
It's like Vanderbilt, like in Tennessee. Like I think it's Tennessee, right? Like Vanderbilt's in Tennessee.
That sounds right.
Or it's either Tennessee or Georgia or Carolina, one of the Carolinas. Obviously, they're SEC too, but I just never realized Vanderbilt was like. I think it's Tennessee.
Where's Troy located?
Yo, Troy?
Yes.
Are you giving me trivia or are you
I'm giving.
legitimately?
Yeah, I have a map of all the teams that were in the tournament by
Texas?
state. No, Troy's not Texas.
Don't give it to me. Is it like a wild like?
It's. I wouldn't have guessed the state, but like
you're
it's
not,
not
like,
a
shocked?
crazy one. No.
Georgia,
No, you're close though. It's in that.
Tennessee.
No.
All right, I'm gonna give one more guess. South Carolina.
No. Alabama.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that.
Where's
That's great.
Drake? Where's Drake located?
Is Drake, Indiana,
No, you're close, but no.
Illinois?
No. Keep going.
Is it Wisconsin,
No, you're right there.
Minnesota?
Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay,
Marquette. You know where Marquette is?
Marquette's Indiana.
No.
Is it not?
Nope.
Illinois, is it Illinois?
Nope.
I thought Marquette was. Is that Michigan?
No, we brought up this exact city earlier when we were talking about baseball teams, and you have no
Wisconsin?
reason for the yeah, it's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay. For some reason, I thought they were like right outside of Chicago, but I guess it's right outside of. Was it in Milwaukee?
It's in Milwaukee, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, the Milwaukee.
Where's St. John's? I never for some reason I
New York.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I knew that was East. They're Big East.
I'm just going state by state here.
Yeah, like the obscure ones.
Liberty?
Liberty is no, it's not Pennsylvania.
I would have guessed New York.
Liberty, it's like the Kansas or not Kansas,
No.
but like one of those.
No. It's on the East
Virginia,
Coast.
Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia. Yep,
Yeah,
Virginia.
I knew that one.
I didn't know that.
I
You know
have a
where Clemson is, right?
Yeah, Carolina's one of the
South
Carolinas,
Carolina,
right?
South Carolina, yeah.
South Carolina. I knew it was one of the Carolinas.
Lipscomb? Where's Lipscomb from? Or located?
Como on these lips. No. Alaska. No, I don't know.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
I pretty much asked all like the.
Yeah. I have a
Random
crazy
one.
story for you, by the way, really quick before we get out
Yeah.
of here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So Saturday was my birthday. We went down the shore for the day, and we go to Ocean City, and we're on the boardwalk or whatever, and we get in line to go like get food. And as we're in line, this woman comes up and she's like, "Hey, is this the line?" We're like, "Yeah, to sit down. This is the line, and then you can get food at the counter." So she's like, "Oh no, I'm waiting for somebody." So we were friendly with her, and she has a Yankees hat on. So the people behind, so another family, like a woman, and I think she had like twin sons or something, like one of their friends. She gets in line and she goes, "Hey, are you a Yankees fan?" And I'm sorry, the kid started talking about the Yankees. Like one of the twin kids started talking about the Yankees, and they're like, "Oh, you're wearing a Yankees hat," and she's like, "Are you a Yankees fan?" And the woman with the Yankees hat said, "Well, not really." She said, "My son just works for the Yankees." Like she said, my son he worked for Seattle for a while. He's with the Yankees this year. They're like, "Oh, that's really cool. What does he do?" And I'm just at this point, I'm like overhearing. And she said, and this kind of ties into the torpedo bats a little bit. She said he's the director of hitting for the Yankees.
Okay.
So she said, he was up in Seattle for a few years. We would go to Seattle. We're so happy, like he's close now, and we can go to games or whatever. I think she said they went to opening day like a couple days before. They were down in spring training. And like she was saying, so we're in line, and the kid who is with the mom that she's talking to, he's obviously a Yankees fan, whatever. He said, "Oh my God, Goldschmidt just hit a home run, a leadoff home run," and she goes, "Oh my God, he helped design Goldschmidt's bat this year. Like he's got
No
a new
shit.
bat." Yeah. I don't know if it's the torpedo bat because at this point the torpedo bat wasn't like a public knowledge to me, or at least knowledge to me yet. She said, yeah, him specifically. He like did a couple things to his bat to help his bat a little bit. He lead off home run. The next guy comes up. It's
Jazz, or no?
No, Jazz was fourth that inning, but he struck out. Whoever was between Goldschmidt and Judge. Oh, Bellinger. Bellinger comes up, hits a home run. She's like, "Oh my God!" She's like, "I got to call my husband." As she's on the phone with her husband, Judge hits a home run.
This game scored 16 runs, right?
20. They scored 20.
20 runs?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
At least I checked. It was 16.
It was a back-to-back first inning. Dude, she's going nuts about how, like, because her son's, it's pretty cool. Like, I brag about that shit, too. But I just thought it was, like, a funny, like, story. And then she sat, like, a couple seats over for us. And, like, every, like, few innings, I'm like, oh, scored 4 more. They scored 3 more.
So her son designed the torpedo bat, is what it sounds like.
No. It was like some guy from like MIT that like they. So
maybe it's her son. I don't know.
No, it's not. Victus. He went. So it's funny because when she was in line, she said, "Oh, she said that her son's girlfriend or fiance is the coach, the gymnastics coach for LSU, for women's gymnastics, LSU." And she said, "We're going to Penn State next weekend. He's not sure if he's going to be able to come." But there's like a huge meet at Penn State next weekend that we're gonna, LSU wins the national championship every year. She said, "Oh, where does your son go?" And she said, "LSU." He went to LSU. He played with Nola, and she said he played with Nola and Bregman, Alex Bregman. So I thought that was pretty cool. But the guy who designed the bats is from MIT. I believe Victus hired him to because it's only Victus bats. So it's only the guys that are using Victus bats that have. Like, Judge doesn't use it. He uses Louisville Slugger, so he doesn't have the torpedo bat.
I thought he did use the torpedo bat, huh?
No, Judge was like one of the few guys at the Yankees that stuck with his bat because he uses Louisville Slugger. So, I think it's Bohm, Stott, Harper, and Marsh are the only guys that use Victus. So they're the 4 guys that are getting the torpedo bat. Obviously, Bohm we talked about earlier has it, but yeah, apparently he did something else to like Goldschmidt. I don't know if Goldschmidt uses Victus, but
what's your thought on the idea of the torpedo bat?
I mean, I think I'm with like most people that think that like as long as it's legal, it's fine, I guess. But like if you don't want it, then you're gonna have to outlaw it. Like you can only have so much.
I'd argue it's even worse than the steroid era.
I saw you say that today. I'm curious what your thought
Well,
process is there.
steroid era, you still had.
Because I'm really not sure about the bat
you-
yet. I
you-
think it's too early to tell.
During the steroid era, you still had to find out where to put the ball to the barrel. Like you still had to have good pop. You still had to have, it just gave you a little extra power, but you still had to hit the ball. Whereas this is like, hey, I kind of stink at getting the barrel to the ball, but like fixing the bat is just going to put the barrel to the ball. I don't know.
Yeah, but like, I don't think that the bat, at least so far, I don't think that the bat has done that much. I just think the Yankees
He
just
scored
hit.
a shit ton of runs.
Yeah, but they're not the only team that used it. Like there were other guys that used it opening day, like on other teams.
How many home runs does Jazz Chisholm have so far?
I don't know.
Did
you know that they what do you call it? Did you know that they did this bat specifically for Volpe, and it's actually helped them because
Really?
the analytics show you that wherever he's just missing with the width of the bat, where what's it closer to the hands, I guess.
Yeah.
There's more wood closer to the hands. She said, but
Yep.
they specifically did it to help Volpe, and other guys were like, "Oh, like I'll try this too."
So he has again a very small sample size, so like this could end up kind of regressing to the mean. But so far he has 3 home runs.
This is Chisholm.
This is Chisholm. So far 3 home runs in 3 games.
Okay.
His career high is 2024, so last year, 24 home runs. But before that, 19, 14, 18. So
Right,
he's
but
like a
look-
20 home run guy. He already has 3 in 3 games.
But look at how many home runs did he have in Yankee Stadium last year?
11,
How many games did he play in
46. 46.
Right. So I think it's just a product of the Yankee Stadium,
Okay,
a left-handed
fair
power, not a power hitter, but a guy that could potentially give you 20, 25 homers. I just think it's the fact of playing at Yankee Stadium. It's a
Right.
very friendly, especially
Fair
for a
enough.
left-hander.
Yep.
I don't think Judge would have 75 home runs a year if he didn't play in Yankee Stadium.
Sure.
He'd probably have a lot, but not 75. But
Sure.
all right, we're
That's
going
fair.
off here. Yeah, so.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. And I don't think we ever really mentioned on the show, but our new day is going to switch to Tuesday nights, same time, 9 o'clock, same spots you can find us. And we will see everybody next Tuesday. See you then.